Detroit factory lays off entire team after economy shatters auto industry. Ain't that about a biatch? Listen, hit the sub button if you like what I'm putting down. Let's get into it.
How badly our economy is literally not hiring right now. Not only are they not hiring, but take a quick search on TikTok and see that all of the recruiters are being fired right now. You want to know the real sign that our economy is going to crap and there's no one hiring? They start with the recruiters. You don't need recruiters if you're not hiring.
And then you gotta think about all of the hiring freezes that are going on, man. So many companies have basically said we will no longer be hiring for the foreseeable future because we're trying to build out all of these AI positions, models, and things of that nature. We're trying to replace human labor with AI labor. You know, we can do better just using AI. They don't talk back, they don't call in sick, they don't have kids to worry about, they don't have maternity leave. Yeah, there you go.
Recruiting. 2026 is predicted to be the worst job market for college graduates in 5 years. And it's not even just like college graduates. No one is getting a job in this economy. I have my master's degree in marketing. Most of us have been laid off because AI is taking over our marketing field.
Yeah, and I've been saying this for a long time now. What we're going to see within the job market coming really soon, it's going to be very, very scary. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. A lot of the recruiters are getting laid off, as well as HR, as well as, many other ways of sourcing applicants within companies. They're moving on because companies are doing this whole hiring freeze ordeal. You got companies like Walmart, who was the America's largest
that for sure.
employer across the board. They announced that they're doing a hiring freeze. Now, I don't think this is at the store level. I think this will most likely affect at the corporate level. But to see companies like this, as large as this, decide that they're going to go on a hiring freeze, even companies like Amazon, I'm sure they're doing a quietly hiring freeze with them announcing that they're laying off 600,000 workers. So you got,
hey man, you know what? Something that he just made me think about with Amazon specifically, right? Amazon was going to put a line item whenever you purchase from Amazon reflecting how much the tariffs increased the price. Trump got on the phone allegedly with Jeff Bezos and was like, nah, you can't do that, bro. That's not a good look for MAGA right there. When they see increase because of the tariffs, that's going to immediately tell them that, damn, oh wow, I was sold a lie, a fallacy. And shit crazy. When a lily pad white woman with blue eyes, blonde hair, can't find no damn job, DEI helped them the most. No offense to anybody who watching this motherfucker, but I'm calling a spade, goddammit. DEI helped people who look like her the most. And without DEI, it's going to be a rough go at it. That's all I'm going to say.
Going to see this coming within the next couple months, even the next couple years as we head into 2026, guys. It's scary, but in the midst of this, guys, you have another layoff over in Detroit, guys. This is a Detroit auto manufacturer, and it is a Chinese company, but as we dive deeper into it, they're set to close and lay off 200 employees within the coming weeks. All right, the company name is Yanfeng, which is a company, it's a Chinese company, which they are investing into the United States. So it's pretty weird right there.
We listen, at the end of the day, we can't compete with them in China. China has all of the shit that you need to make electrical vehicles. They control the market on the rare earth metals and minerals. Back in the day when America had the chance for us to, stay in that fight, they was like, nah, we ain't gonna invest in that. The processing, the infrastructure around mining it and all of that kind of stuff. And China said, nah, we going full steam ahead. And that's why they run the whole economy when it comes to that shit. The stuff that makes our smartphones, they control the production of it, basically. Without China, we don't have access to it. So if they really wanted to just screw us, they could say, we ain't selling it to you no more. But, that's going to affect the economy as well. But, man, at the end of the day, we should have invested heavily into rare earth minerals and metals. Straight like that, bro.
Looking at within this, so it could be, they're affected by tariffs or some other sort. But as we dive deep into it, 192 will be let go from the production facility, and it's over in Rummus. I guess that's Metro Detroit. The bulk of the positions are plant and assembly operators, as well as technicians, material handlers, and production leads. So in
other words, the common folk, the working man, bro. Shit.
Y'all, GM laid off 200 engineers just days after raising profits. You know, I took notes. Let's talk about it. In a move catching many off guard, General Motors has laid off more than 200 salaried employees, mostly engineers, only days after the company raised its 2025 financial guidance and celebrated one of its best stock days since 2009. The cuts come as GM continues to restructure and strengthen core design capabilities, according to an internal statement, to say that the affected workers were told their jobs were being eliminated due to business conditions, not performance. President Donald Trump praised new tariffs on trucks this week, saying Ford and GM are up big on tariffs. But even with tariff relief, automakers continue to shed U.S. jobs amid EV market uncertainty and cost-cutting pressures. GM's U.S. salaried headcount has fallen from 53,000 in 2023 to about 50,000 today. We recognize the efforts and accomplishments of the impacted team members, GM said. Do you though? It's worth noting that most of the engineers that were laid off reside in Detroit, Michigan. What do you think, guys? Fair or foul?
I think that's a load of horse shit. Cow manure, goddammit. Listen what they saying in the comments, man. My father-in-law was one of those laid off, worked for General Motors for 40 years. They do that. They like to cut you off right when you finna get the pension, the retirement, and all of that kind of stuff. That's how my dad went from middle management at Ford to convenience store clerk in 1982. Damn. Don't buy new. If it runs, take good care of it. Keep up regular maintenance. No fast turning. Hard braking, hard driving, lasting longer than a day. Only an investment if you treat it as such. Pay it off, then pay yourself each month thereafter. That is some crazy shit, man.
Breaking, fuck the news. General Motors has announced that they will be laying off 200 employees at their electric car factory in Detroit.
Crazy.
Sure, bringing them jobs back to America. I mean, let me not be biased.
General Motors is laying off 1,700 workers across Michigan and Ohio. And the reason behind it says a lot about where the EV industry really stands right now. About 1,200 of those jobs are coming from their all-electric plant in Metro Detroit, making that area the hardest hit. GM says demand for electric vehicles has slowed down, and they're adjusting their operations to match the market.
Crazy.
High production costs, wavering consumer interest, and a tighter economy are putting pressure on EV makers. Even the big players.
Damn.
Local officials and labor advocates in Detroit are really concerned. These layoffs hit workers, families, and entire communities that depend on auto industry jobs. GM says they'll provide support and transition resources, but it's still a major blow. As EV demand keeps shifting, GM is rethinking its production strategy, but they're still saying electrification is part of their long-term plan. If you want more clear breakdowns on layoffs, the job market, or career shifts, follow me for updates.
See, bro, this better not be no AI character because I got something to tell y'all. She doing something too rich right now, boy. They talking about my black women and stuff. Was she loud? Was she combative? Does she come off as disagreeable? Man, to me, she looks feminine, fit. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, y'all better stop playing with them. I'm getting beside myself. But that's crazy, bro. They don't care about American people at all, man. Real talk, they don't.
A lot of the people who are really hands-on, it doesn't say that they're shutting down the factory, but they're laying off this many workers, which is an alarming sign, especially as we see what happened to a lot of companies like GM, as well as Ford, who is headquarters over in Detroit. As a matter of fact, Ford may not be headquarters in Detroit, but I know GM, has a lot of factories over there. But as we dive deeper into this, the human resource said that they were expected to come by January 5th, and a variety of factors could still impact those plans and the timing of those separations. Now, they're not talking about anything like severance packages or any of those things, and maybe they are doing it. It's just not included within this document, which I will also link this in the description below. But like I said, and there's also another layoff within another auto manufacturer as well, which is set to close 250 people at its plant in multiple different locations, like I said, by mid-December. So it's very curious to see. It's crazy to see what has happened within the auto industry right now, because a lot of these companies truly are dealing with the effects of tariffs. Also, the uncertainty within the economy with people not really buying cars as much as they were before, because a lot of people are holding on to whatever money they have because of what is happening.
And that's facts though too. But at the end of the day, which one of these car companies are supporting Trump? So, yeah, They having to deal with the issues that they created. And I bet you, man, we finna find out right now on the spot. Give me a list of car companies that support Trump and maybe even giving him money for his campaign. There you have it. Several major automakers and related car brands have financially supported Donald Trump, mainly through donations to his inaugural committee or Republican-aligned political efforts that benefit him. These are corporate or PAC level actions, not necessarily endorsements by every employer or customer. Duh, we know that. Ford Motor Company reported to have pledged around $1 million to Trump's 2025 inauguration fund and previously donated a high level to his first inauguration as well. General Motors, look how the cookie crumbles, dog. Similarly listed as giving about $1 million to Trump's 2025 inauguration after previously donating large sums to his first inauguration. Toyota identified as donating roughly $1 million to Trump's 2025 inauguration as a major GOP-aligned auto donor. Coverage notes the company as especially aligned with Republicans who oppose aggressive climate and EV policies that Trump also criticizes. Hyundai, I don't even know that. Oh, parent company to Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, also described as contributing about $1 million. They was giving him, there you go. People ain't buying cars now. And y'all, this shit coming back to bite y'all in the ass.
Cost of living is through the roof. It's crazy. These are lives affected. And I'm always said this at the end of the day, until we get some regulation on things like automation and AI, we're going to continue to see layoffs like this, right? I'm not saying this is due to AI, but I am telling you that a lot of companies are dealing with things like AI, even as we see what is happening to new grads. Check this video out. This is a college hiring event, not even just for college. This is just a college hiring event, a hiring event. This is crazy.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday.
Jet2 holiday.
Right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. Millions of free child-based holidays available with 22.
So
Companies
this is the
are
girl,
at the
and shout out to
career
the
fair.
creator. Her name is She's 101, and I'm gonna link the video in the description below for her. But like, guys, so she went to this career fair right here, and you see it's just lines of people. And she even put in the title, the companies are not even hiring; they're just here to, I guess, give notice and promote their company. And
Oh, so basically they doing what they do on Indeed, posting these fake job listings just so they could gather data. This is interesting right here. They not even hiring for real. Do y'all know that that's a common practice? People are putting job listings out there that they're not even looking for people to fill. They're just having you input your information so that they can have a database of people and they can run their numbers, their metrics, their statistics, and they can learn everything about you. Crazy.
we've seen this many different times, right? Like, look at the lines. And we've also seen multiple hiring fairs, career fairs, where, you know, you have people lined up. They've got their resumes. You see the resumes in their hand. They're just waiting to hand it off. But at the same time, the people are just like, oh, you know, you can go on the website and you can apply as well, right? But you see this happening across the board. And it's so many different industries. Here's one right here. This is a software engineer tech career fair. Check this out. Look at how many people you see lined up right here in just this one area, guys. And
bro, that's heartbreaking, dog. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that's really heartbreaking. I have a degree in biology and I have a minor in chemistry, and I know how hard it was to get that degree. And I know how it feels when I graduated only to find out, damn, what the hell can I even do with this degree with just a bachelor's? Because I didn't go and get a master's or a PhD or anything like that. I know this is not a simple degree to get. This is not a basket weaving degree. This is one of them smart people degrees. Everybody ain't smart enough to get that degree. And now these people done put in all that work and they ain't got no jobs. I'm curious to know what the curriculum for something like that is. What does the average software engineering degree curriculum look like? Calculus 1 and 2, I took those. I took linear algebra, dropped it straight up because I didn't need it. Intro to programming, software engineering core. Yeah, this looks like some pretty dense stuff, man. I'm going to just call a spade a spade.
by all means, career fairs have always been super packed. We've known this. This is nothing new. But it's crazy to see how it looks right here just in one spot. You used to be able to just at least walk by and walk through and, you know, be able to maneuver. But I mean, it's so packed out. All right, this is what the job market is right now. But let's check this out.
You're being conned right now. These mass layoffs that everyone is saying is because of AI, they're not. What they're doing is they're resetting the job market so that all of you start accepting roles and jobs at salaries that you would have previously laughed at. This is not a technology issue. This is a greed issue. And while, yeah, sure, AI is taking some jobs from some people, that is not what's happening here at a wide scale, right? They are doing this and they are making people go back to the office in the hopes that they'll quit. And they're doing it so they cut costs, which is going to help their stock prices go up and their exec pay packages go up. And it's going to signal to investors that they are investing in AI.
And I'm sorry for pausing midway through, but it is true. They are investing in AI. It's not that AI is taking jobs and, it's not that AI is replacing entire roles. That's not what it is. I mean, yes, it is doing it in some cases, but on a mass scale, what you're seeing is AI is able to do the heavy lifting of a lot of these roles to the point to where you don't need 5 people for one role. For example, if you're a software engineer, you don't need 5 engineers to do, the same type of engineer, like software engineer 1, where you can replace it to do 1 engineer. Now, I'm not an expert at it. I did go to school for, IT and software engineer. However, what I can tell you is the coding is gone now, right? Like, you still code, you still do the code. But what I am saying is you're spending a lot of time debugging. Same thing goes for some of these other roles, for accounting and all these different.
See, all that shit he talking about right now going over my head. I don't know nothing about no coding, bro. I don't know nothing about no debugging and JavaScript and Python and all that kind of stuff. I heard of these things. That's the only reason why I know how to throw them out. C++. Can I do it though? That's a different story.
Different things. It's not that the entire roles are gone. It's that you only need one person to manage these roles, this role, and then they take care of all of these different automation products to make sure that they are as efficient as possible. But that's it.
And getting efficient gains and all of that so that they look like they're, on the up and up with AI. And guess what? When they actually need humans again, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call you, but this time they're going to offer you probably maybe half the salary that you had when you left. And you're going to have been unemployed for so long that you're going to take it because you're desperate. Okay. Dang. So in a world where basically the cost of living is skyrocketing, maybe doubling, you are about to get half of your pay. And that is the future of work that no one's talking about.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this was affected and a lot of this happened during the pandemic. If we're being completely open and honest about the situation, because remember during the pandemic, there was so many people jumping into a lot of these fields, a lot of these gold mine fields, right? Like your techs, your investing fields, whatever, your truckings, all these different fields during the pandemic, right? Because there was so much money that was being poured into these fields, but companies overhired because it was a gold mine. They were making so much money. So now what we're seeing is they're trying to dial back on all of that overhiring they did because I guess they thought it was going to last forever. Mm-hmm. Hence what we're seeing with companies like Target and all these other people who had these huge outlooks, huge, massive looks and thinking that you're going to continue to see pandemic level numbers.
But look, you also got to take in consideration too, they are about to turn the money printer on. And when the money printer comes on, the businesses get cheaper money and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know if that's going to translate to them hiring more people, or is that going to translate to them investing more heavily into the AI now that they're going to have access to cheaper capital? I don't know how this going to play out, but like when the money does start getting pushed back into the economy with the lower interest rates with the Fed and all that kind of stuff, some jobs are going to start hiring again, the ones who aren't focused primarily on, increasing AI within the business. But, overall, bro, it's not looking good.
Pandemic level spending and all these different things, when in actuality that's not how the whole system works. So yeah, you have companies scaling back, you have companies offering lower pay because there's so much supply of people who have those skills. It's not about what you can do, it's not about that, it's about how much value you are able to bring to the board. And if you have one engineer, if you have one architect, if you have one person that can do the job, that is completely different from having 100 people on the team that can do that same job. So yes, they are going to lower, compensation packages. I don't think it's great, right? Like, I think it sucks and I don't agree with it. And yes, we can also put in the level of corporate greed. We can also put in the level of, trying to please the investors and boost stock prices. But at the end of the day, I think it's just basic math if you sit back and look at it on the grand scale of things. By all means, I hate layoffs. I dislike.
You know what's crazy though, bro? The corporate greed aspect. Somebody that I know personally, right, that I hold near and dear to my heart. They worked at a job where they came in, got trained by the person who was there at the top. They then approached this person and said, hey, he's on his way out and we want you to replace him. Obviously, you're going to be ecstatic because now you finna get more money and all this, right? But you don't know the whole story. They got rid of that dude because he was making this much money and replaced him with you with hopes of you making this much money. Not where they was at with him, but just right there. You're going to be happy about it because you getting a 50% increase in salary or 25%, but they ain't not finna give you what they was giving him. Years go by, years go by, years go by. Now that same person just had it done to them. And through the grapevine, they found out that this person that they replaced her with is making like a third of what they were making. So companies do this often. I would not be surprised, bro. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you like what I was putting down, hit the sub button.